depression. And O is an appropriate response. Thank you. I recently named my brain. I named it Brian. It, not him. My brain doesn't have a gender. I do. Fascinating concept, but we're moving on. So, I named my brain, and I named him Brian because I am dyslexic. It's like a frog in a pot over here. That's nice. Still shouldn't have spelled with a Y, though. But the reason I named my brain is because I talk to myself a lot. The reason I talk to myself a lot is because I'm mentally ill. Don't worry, I keep it light about half the time because I'm bipolar, so... But being bipolar has its ups and downs. Being bipolar is kind of interesting because the comorbidity rate, which sounds like the rate of the price of a suicide pact, but it's not. But the comorbidity rate is incredibly high. Comorbidity is, of course, where there's more than one instance of an illness in a patient. So if you're bipolar like me, number one, fuck off. I want my own personal brand of mental illness. Number two, don't you wish your girlfriend was bipolar like me? No, you don't. Number three... is if you're bipolar like me, you're going to be more likely to have anxiety, depression, and ADHD, if that wasn't already clear. So, it's like having the oatmeal variety pack of mental illnesses. You're like, this morning I'm going to have a big bowl of intrusive thought syndrome. It's chunky. What are the chunks? Bad thoughts. I do think that farts are intrusive thoughts coming out the other end. It's like, murder your family. Fuck a deer. Write stand-up comedy, you know. The things you should think but never act on. But anyway, it's kind of fun being ADHD as well because it's like being part of the most disorganized army unit to ever exist. Because it's just like, I don't know what I've been told, I don't know what I've been told. I don't know what I've been told, I don't know what I've been told. Who was right, who could say I wasn't listening anyway? Ooh, but it's difficult being mentally ill and like dating because when you tell the person, because is it like sex, do you wait for the third date or do I go up to someone and go, hey, can I buy you a drink? I'm bipolar, you can get it to go. And it was difficult. It was difficult growing up in the Midwest and being depressed. Depressed in the Midwest, you're happy. But it was difficult, not because of the toxic masculinity or social stigma, no, but because of the vernacular. Because I still have thoughts like, boy, howdy, I want to kill myself. Golly gee whiz, there's just a hole in my soul that I can never fill. Oh yeah, Norm, get a bunch of Percodan and run a bath and just sort of hope. Norm gets me. But it's difficult having anxiety and depression at the same time, because on the one hand you have depression that goes, I just want to die. And on the other hand you have anxiety that goes, but what if you do? But I get anxious. I was anxious the other day at work. Well, I wasn't. Brian was. I was fine. He was freaking out. I understood the stakes involved. But I was anxious. I was like, hey, babe, what's going on? So I call myself babe in my head. I do. Because I've done CBT, which is not the kink you're thinking of. But there is a kink called CBT. Do not look it up. Look it up. Do not look it up. Look it up. Do not look. So, cognitive behavioral therapy, cockaball torture, cognitive behavioral therapy, in which you learn to treat yourself like a friend you like. So if you're a friend of mine and I like you, I'm going to call you babe or boss or sweetheart when I want to be condescending. And so I'm just like, hey babe, what's going on? I don't think you realize how difficult this job is. You have to remember what people want to eat, and then write it down. And then what happened to the days we used to sit around the table and have supper instead of dinner? When did we start calling it dinner instead of supper? And what happened to the America I grew up with? Okay, let's not project your personal problems onto the American public. We already got a guy for that. Several, really. Every guy does that. I'm doing it now. We call it art, but when a woman does it, we call it a trick, and I never much did care about that. That's a quote from Annie Oakley about gunplay, but also applicable to stand-up comedy. But I was like, it's okay, boss, this moment, it just cannot last forever. Well, that's not true. What do you mean? Well, if you think about it, we can only experience one moment at a time, so life is just a series of moments, and even those moments our perspective is unique and different, and so what is truth? But back to my main point. We can only experience one moment at a time, so life is just a series of moments, and the only moment that actually matters is the moment before you die, and we don't know when that is. I live in constant fear! Okay, sweetheart, just calm down. Sorry, I got weird. Even Descartes would have been like, that is too much. I got a mind like a platypus. You look at it and you go, it functions, but why God do it that way? That's not true, there's no God. Maybe there is only one way to find out. Don't want to do that, but kind of feels like I am. No, actually, you're a great crowd. So I got weird again. Or imagine when you do die, you go into the fourth dimension, you realize that time is just a flat Urkel. Did I do that? Time is just a flat Urkel, not while I'm pouring. Time is just a flat circle. You realize that it's no longer applicable to us once we've passed on. And I know what you're thinking. If time is no longer applicable to us once we've passed on to the next dimension, where are all the ghosts that should already exist? That is what you are thinking now when I'm speaking to you. Tristan, where are all the ghosts? And I will tell you, they are haunting your bodies. We're a bunch of ghosts haunted by fleshy meat puppets, and we have the audacity to yell at each other in a Starbucks line. Sorry, I got weird again. Got a mind like a steel trap, rabbit mongoose inside, but it's a steel trap. But it's a slippery slope, because, calling yourself all these positive things in your own mind, because at what point does it just become, what's the matter, precious? The sex not going very well, no, what to do? We were going to open the mouth. I feel concepts. And if we don't have them, so I'm going to leave you on this, a couple things. Number one, people sometimes come up to me after the show and they go, Tristan, what do you want? And I say time. Because not only am I punctual, I'm constantly aware of my inevitable death and the inevitable death of all those who are around you. But, every day is a gift. Sometimes that gift just sucks. But what did we learn? We learned that I am bipolar and from the Midwest, that I do a Gollum impression. You didn't learn that. Look at me. Of course you knew that. But if I'm bipolar and from the Midwest, it means that I'm a passive-aggressive manic-depressive. I was taught to be unself-expressive. I buried all my emotions, buried them down. Inside every smile, I knew there was a small frown. And this is the thing that our children must learn, as happy as they are, free from concern, that we're all simply waiting around to die. We all of our truth, yes, but one big lie. That we'll never go to that place we don't know behind the spooky curtain, that we don't live a life that is full of strife and is wildly uncertain, but don't be so mad and don't be so sad, because everybody's obsessed with death. In fact, it should make you glad for the life that you've had, and grateful for every breath. My name is Tristan Miller. Thank you for your kind attention.